Well, I guess when I say my well, all right, all right, all right, I need to turn my mic on, don't I? Holy smokes, what a stupid head I am. Hey, everybody, how's everything going? Look here, check this guy's out. What do you guys think of that, huh? Yeah, finally. Only took 6 months, but that's all right. They say when you do things slow, you do them right. Right? That's what they say. So I'm going to be working on a couple little things here while we visit. But first, I want to say hello. Well, you know what I ought to do first? I guess what I ought to do first is bring in my substitute co-host. That's right, guys. We got a guest co-host tonight. Really famous guy has blessed me with his time this evening. And so let's all give Kelly Shores a warm round of coffee or beer, whatever. How you doing, Kelly?
Hey, what is up, Mel? Good to see you, man.
Oh man, long time, buddy, long time.
It has. I've been watching some of your videos though with those crawlers, those little rock crawlers you're driving.
Yep.
Man, those things are so much fun, and you're in a good spot. It looks like you're in a pretty place to drive them because you're driving them through water, up waterfalls, down the side of stuff. What a hoot that is.
Yeah. I do enjoy it. That's for sure. We get into lots of different little places. Sometimes, with my knee the way it is, sometimes it's hard for me to hike in there, but it's a lot of fun. We get it done.
Yeah, and certainly I have always thought that that the RC cars are one of those things that whenever I've had the opportunity to get one and review one, I mean, you know this, right? It's always a hoot for me because I think they're a whole lot of fun, and they're such a nice change of pace from flying because it's a different experience.
Exactly, and the ones that I do, the ones that I run, are not so much built for speed as they are slow torque,
Yeah, the climbers.
slow motion, high torque, just like real life rock crawlers. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
the suspension on those things. I mean, the way the wheels go up and down and the springs in them. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I a long time ago, and I have this somewhere I think in like even my Ready Set Drone song video or video for the song. I have a shot where I'm pulling my son. He's sitting on a skateboard, holding onto a four-wheel drive RC car, and I'm pulling him down the street with it pretty fast too, and he's just going
Yep. Yep.
It was I couldn't do that anymore. He weighs about 3 times as much as he used to, but back then we could do it.
You still can do it. I've seen YouTube videos with guys with their RC trucks pulling their kids in a wagon around the house.
Really?
Up and yeah, oh yeah, up and down the side. My crawler truck would absolutely pull somebody on a skateboard or in a wagon, or
It's got
probably.
that much torque, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I guess that's true. I mean, those electric motors, they just go. Depending on how they're geared, those things will just grind away. Because I mean, that's what they put in those electric skateboards, right? And so I'm riding those things all the time. And if I can go from 0 to 30 miles an hour in 20 seconds on one of those, then I would imagine they could put one in an RC truck.
Oh yeah, but they're a lot different. Like the ones. I don't have one sitting here any longer. I did have, and I finally put it away. But they're a regular sized coffee mug like this.
Yeah.
You will completely conceal one motor. They're that small.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not huge. Yeah, and I guess on those, the whole thing with those is the way that the coils are put into the coil, the magnet, all the stuff that makes it an electric motor. I've never understood really the difference between brushless and brushed. I know that brushless is better. Do you know the difference?
I do. A brushed motor obviously has brushes. It has standard windings on the armature core.
But what is a brush? I mean, what is that? What I mean in layman's terms, what does that mean?
Typically would be it's a connection device that connects your power source to the windings of the armature core.
Okay, that's where all those copper wires are.
If you have 3 or 4 of those, then they come up and they get soldered to little copper pads on the armature core, and then the brushes will touch 2 of those pads at once.
Oh.
And it'll energize the coil, which creates a magnetic field that opposes the magnets that are glued inside the case. That makes it move. Once it moves, it hits the next set, and then it creates a... Yeah, that's a very basic layman...
Well, I've never had it explained that well, but I guess when you say touches them, is it almost like, remember the old slot cars? They would have those springs with the little metal contacts, and they had two...
Had to touch the track?
They had to touch the track, but they weren't connected to the track. It was like
right.
The spring would push it down, but as soon as you crashed and lost, your car just died, right?
Sure.
Is that kind of what it's like? They're like little brushes that...
That's kind of what it's like. They're made of a conductive material, and they get spring-loaded in the housing of the motor that holds them tight against the armature core, and there you have it. That's what makes it work.
Right.
Trying to do a bunch of things at once.
Sure. Well, I like I said, Mel, I'm glad to be here tonight. I know your guest had to cancel, so she's going to be back on next week.
Yep, rescheduled for next week. But I'm lining up another guest, and I'll be bringing them on here shortly. But what I do need to do is go into chat and say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Jody from Drone Shots was the first one here tonight. Then my brother. And unfortunately, my brother's watching from his phone this week. Justin from Drone 863, Chris, Sunrise Water Media, Mike, I don't know you. You're new. Thank you for coming, or at least that's a new name to me. Rod from Hot Rod in Daytona, Chris Wedgeworth. I've got a bunch of information. Me too. Also, your dog too. I'm not quite sure what that means, little brother, but okay. However, that's what you got going on. So
I think he was saying his dog's okay from the fire.
Oh,
I commented and said he said his truck had burned in the fire, and I said I'm glad he and your dad are okay, and he said yeah, the dog's okay too.
Yeah, I didn't know that topic was out yet, so now that it is. I'm going to go ahead and switch this and click that and keep your audio turned on. So this was, and noticed I said was, my brother, Backwoods Droner, and my dad, that was their primary dwelling. They lived in a trailer on my property in Tennessee in the woods. And one night this last week, they had a little problem while they were gone. Volunteer fire department did a fantastic job saving everything that they could, but of course the fifth wheel was a complete loss. Well, you know what that means. That was their home. They had everything there that you would typically have in your home. Furniture and cooking stuff, kitchen furnishings and bedding and clothing and computers and guns and drones and RC cars and you name it, and it's all gone completely.
Yeah.
History. So
picture.
In the description of this live stream is a link for the GoFundMe, and let me click on this, and then I'm gonna...
Hey, so Mel, real quick, I clicked on it and it took me to GoFundMe, but it took me to like a blank page. So can you double check that link?
Wow, yeah.
I was going to try and get the first donation in before the show started, but it's just showing me a blank page.
C. Let me just try putting it right here in the chat and see.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Let me try that one.
See if that works. I've never done this GoFundMe thing before, so I don't know how it works, but I do have
Well, hey Mel, can you try putting that into your browser and see if that works?
well, I've got it. I've got it in the browser right here, Kelly. I can bring it up on the screen.
You have the GoFundMe. Okay. What's going on with mine then?
I've never done it before, so maybe I'm. Do you not just copy the link at the top of the page, or is there a different thing you should copy?
I don't know. I've done it, but it's been a while. Artco's
Oh, here
saying
we go. Here we go. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to put
Artco's saying
that.
he can't see it either. I think.
I'm going to put that in the chat. Try that.
Try a different one. Okay.
Maybe that will
Thanks,
do
Art,
the
for
trick.
confirming that.
Maybe that will do the trick.
Wait, I don't see it in the chat yet. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, good. You've already got some folks that have donated. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a couple already.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, I mean this is, I will say, Mel, and you know this. You know this very well, as do I, as does Backwoods Droner, as does Art. This is where this community really comes together, right? And I feel like if everybody could just put just a little bit in there, if we all did it, and if everybody did it, not only from this show tonight, but from my show on Friday, from Ken Herron's show, whoever's doing live shows, just mention this. It doesn't cost you anything to mention it, and just suggest, instead of a super chat, put $10 in here, and I think we could do real well.
I really appreciate that, Kelly. I think that's a great idea. I wasn't even sure if I set it up right until Lloyd was actually the first one to throw $20 at it, and that showed me, okay, I did it. It works.
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Fannery, $200, and Rodney Bell, $100.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
I'll get to it, but yeah, I feel like this is also a slow burn. I wouldn't expect to meet your goal in a day, but I think over the course of a couple of weeks, you could very well meet it.
And that's going to do a lot of good for them, because everything, clothing,
yeah,
everything is gone.
Drones. You said drones.
They had three drones. They had 3 drones. They had
Clothes,
guns, computers, laptops.
Yeah.
Everything that you have in your home, the average person has.
And no reason. You just don't know. You think it might have been your dad's oxygen, you said earlier?
Not sure if it was the oxygen generator or what that caused the fire. We really have no way to know. There's no way to find out.
Man, if you go back to that picture, and on the bottom left, it looks like the woods are on fire pretty heavy back there.
Yeah, they were. There was quite a bit of well, the picture on the bottom left is actually the woods and everything, the camper, everything. That could be sunset shining through the trees too, from that angle.
Okay.
Let me go back over there. Let me click this so you can still
out
talk.
At that point. Yeah, maybe that is sunset.
Yeah, I
see
think
what I'm
that's
saying?
sunset.
It kind of looks like fire back there.
Yeah, because when you sit on the hill at my place, you can watch the sunset over the hill on the next horizon, or next hill over. So it's ridge. And it really sometimes gets very colorful. It's pretty nice. But
so it was in the evening.
Yeah, it was close to dark. A little couple hours before dark.
Joe Blaylock, real quick, was just asking what happened, because he came in a little late. You want to explain it again?
Not exactly sure, Joe, but my Backwoods Droner, my brother, that's his camper trailer where he lived on my land. It burnt down the other day. He was gone to get my dad from a hospital visit, and hey, Brandon, and this is what he came home to. So, yeah, it's all gone. So I'm reaching out to everyone to just try to help them out as much as possible. So that's what I got going on.
And again,
but yeah, everything, clothing, just shoes, it's anyway. Yeah.
This is where we all kind of help each other out. So again, I think if you were going to super chat anybody this week, Mel, me, Ken Herron, whoever, I'd do this instead. Would be my suggestion.
It would really be very helpful for them.
Joe Blaylock, I'm looking at you. 1, 2, 3, 4. he always super chats me $12.34.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So
that's
cool.
Interesting.
I appreciate that.
With that being said, real quick, I'm going to do some shameless plugs because we're almost at the half-hour point.
Oh, geez.
So I want to invite everyone to come to or go to 400agl.net. Okay, and I got that over here on my other screen because at that location you can do a couple of things. You can get the absolute cheapest, and I do mean absolute cheapest, internet price for your lifetime membership of Remote Pilot 101. I don't know how I got cheaper than Ken Herron or anybody else, but I did. $99 lifetime membership for Remote Pilot 101, and that can only be found on 400agl.net. My website. Nice. Is the only place you can find.
And if you're going to get your Part 107, that's the way to do it.
That is the absolute best study course. And if you're an aspiring manned aircraft pilot, you can do that here too. You have to join a different part of their website, but they offer online training for your written portion of your flight exam and your pilot's training, everything you need to know to learn to fly, the complete ground school, I should say.
For
manned aircraft.
I was talking to Jason. I think a lot of people know this, but maybe some folks don't, is that if you get your 107, if you get your Part 107, you have actually done, I think Jason said, half of your ground
basically, school. Because you have to learn the meteorology stuff,
maps
and
maps
charts
and weather and charts and sectionals and METARs and NOTAMs and all that stuff. So
all kinds of stuff. And the other good thing, of course, is the merchandising page. Got to go there, right? So I've got some of those black 400 AGL hats in stock.
Oh man!
Now how come that's not showing up? Is that showing up on the?
It's showing up as out of stock right now.
Oh, but not the black. Okay, so let me see here. How do I get that? Why won't that? Oh, you know why? Because it's not scaled. Oh, okay. I'll have to fix it. But just keep in mind, there is a black one. I'm going to drop this tab and move it over. There we go. Oh, there's a way to fix everything, by God, on a moment's notice.
That looks good.
So, and that's the same hat that I wear when I wear the 400 AGL hat. This is my new channel, MKRC. It's where I build RC trucks and boats and trailers and things from scratch. But check this out. You guys, the viewers, with your pre-orders, spoke. I listened. Remember I told everybody whatever color shirts, because I had like 10 of them up here, 10 different colors. Whatever colors sold in pre-orders would be the colors that got ordered. So here they are. A light blue, a dark blue, a gray, and a black. The light blue and dark blue have gray lettering on them. The gray and the black have white text on them. And as you can see when I come back to camera, that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the gray one.
Yeah. I'm all about the gray drone shirts. Like that's, I don't know, for some reason that's been my theme for like 5 years now is gray drone shirts. So
oh yeah?
Yeah, I gotta get one of those. But I have your hat. I have actually I saw Doc Murdoch in there earlier. I've got a Doc Murdoch hat. I try to mix up my hats because it's pretty hot in Texas, as you know, and they get so I don't want to wear this. I have a few hats that I wear all the time that just have sweat all mixed on the on the band.
So it ain't so.
If I change it out, then it's not so bad. But and that hat you're wearing now, MKRC, that's your Mel Cook RC.
Yep.
Is that what it stands for?
That's what that's for, and it's it's the MKRC. It's what I showcase my trucks for, and cars and all that, that where I build stuff.
And that's why you know the difference between a brushless and a brush motor, because you're building them.
I didn't really finish explaining all that, but yeah, basically I gave you the analogy of a brushed motor, but then a brushless motor, if you think of a brushless motor, if you think about like a 3-phase motor,
Right.
that's how that one works. And the electronic speed control, or what a lot of the FPV guys would know as a flight controller that controls your 4 motors.
Right.
An ESC, that's what that is, that controls 4, but in an RC car it only controls 1. So it just has the 1 output. 2 wires for a brush motor, 3 wires for a brushless motor, and then what it does to make the motor spin is it puts use to 2 of those 3 contacts at once. So it's kind of like a 3-phase motor, and if the motor spins the wrong way, you can just flip 2 of the wires, plug them back into the ESC, and then it'll make it spin the other way, and it spins equally in either direction. It doesn't have any effect on it whatsoever.
Yeah. Motors don't really care, right?
They have no clue.
That's true for trucks and drones and pretty much anything that uses a brushless electric motor. Is that right?
Pretty much the same. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sweet.
So, another little thing I want to do here, I want to put this up really quick. Oh, I already did this, so it's like, sort of did it. I got to fix this. I'm having to fix all this stuff because I've got different cameras running tonight than what I would normally have, so I'm trying to adjust things on the fly here. So we talked really briefly and quickly about Remote Pilot 101 and made it so that those guys get their fair due. And
right. Sure.
The other thing I want to talk about very quickly is if you decide you need to send something to the channel, you can do that. How do you guys like my new slides, by the way, with the cameras and the address on the side and all that? That's just something I just redid this last week.
It looks good, and the camera looks good. The only thing I'll say, I've noticed a couple times when you drop down to grab something like on the shelf behind you, it goes out of focus for a second, like it's trying to track you.
My camera does?
Yeah.
Wow.
When you went back to, I mean, it looks great right now, but
that's a Logitech webcam. It's not supposed to lose focus.
Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, P.O. Box 12, Holiday, Tennessee, 38341 is where you got to send that stuff. And I have a little surprise for you, Kelly.
What?
Someone that you never get to talk to. Oh, look at that. That's a 3D printed thing I recognize.
Yeah. Mel made both these for me.
Did I make the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Big one and the small one, yep.
Wow.
Yep, they're sitting right up here on my shelf.
So I've not been watching chat, you guys. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody that's came in. Flyzone, Maddie, Robert.
Hey, Maddie.
Everybody,
Maddie's
Chris
still
Wedgeworth, everybody that's come in. Thank you for coming in. I really do appreciate it. My brother's house burnt down, his home dwelling. There's a GoFundMe link in the... Oh, and you know what? The GoFundMe link in the description is probably no good because it's the same link that you guys were using. So that means I'll have to fix that. I will get that fixed. Like, you know what?
Well, throw it back in the chat real quick.
I'm going to go right here, share, copy link, and I'm going to paste that right here. There it is in the chat. And now in the whatchamacallit, I gotta do, yeah, okay. Boom, boom. Control V, save. I don't know, can you update that stuff on the fly in a live stream? I don't know. Never done that before.
Yeah, either that or we're gonna explode into a million pieces. But let's
Yeah,
try it.
yeah, who knows? Well, it's updated in the notes. Let's see. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to refresh that, and just for giggles, and I'm going to see what happens in the description. It changed. Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Cool. That works. Anyway, back to the other thing that I was teasing you about, Kelly. Someone that you like to visit with now and then, but almost never get to anymore.
Wait. Hold on. Let me guess. This must be my brother Brad from Virginia.
Eh.
Okay. Is it? Oh, do you got Doc Murdoch coming in?
Eh.
Okay. One more guess. I'm gonna say Casey Neistat because me and him hang out all the time.
It's just me. I'm sorry.
Oh,
well, see there, Chris. Now you know how you rate, right?
I thought I told you. Sundays are my day. We don't hang out on Sundays.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you, Chris.
Oh, yeah,
no, I just figured I'd
forever.
fill the spot and maybe help kill some time with the show tonight.
Yeah. Well, Chris is an interesting dude. I will tell you that. We went out and flew together yesterday along with Kai, but we ran into a little bit of challenge with the wind. Actually, a lot of challenge. It went from windy to windier to windiest. And
oh my!
So we, I don't know if you know, if you follow Kai's channel much, Mel, but he's really into fixed wing, like fixed wing FPV, and he's got one of those ZMOs. Have you seen the ZMO? It's got the digital FPV system from DJI in it, and Kai's pretty good at piloting it. And then I have a Swan, which it's a total, quite honestly, it's kind of a turd. It's VTOL, but it doesn't have any control surfaces. It does everything with 4 propellers on the back. So it takes off VTOL with 4 propellers, levels out, and then it uses a combination of those propellers to turn. Well,
otherwise known as differential thrust.
Oh. So anyway, we were gonna fly the 2 of them and do a little comparison, but it was too windy because that Swan would have ended up in the next county or maybe the next state. As windy as it was.
Yeah, that's the thing with flying anything in wind. It will have an effect on it, and something that relies on wind, or what we call relative wind, because an airplane flies in relative wind. The wind can actually be blowing.
Is that like wind that's related to you? Like your relative?
Where's your
a distant cousin? Yeah, when I need my iPad, I don't have it turned on and plugged in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have landed an RC airplane moving physically backwards and land rolling backwards on the ground because the wind was greater than what the airplane could fly into.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just kind of like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it foamy? Was it
Yep.
Was it made of foam?
No, it was a balsa wood kit that I built.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
First kit I ever built with my dad was a SIG Scamp. You remember that one?
I remember that.
High wing. It was 3 channels, and it had it did not have ailerons. It had a foam wing, and so because I think the wing is one of the things that takes the most time to build. I mean, Doc Murdoch could probably tell us all about this because he's built real airplanes, but basically you're going to have to spend a lot of time building that wing. So the foam wing took that out. So we built the fuselage out of balsa, did the tail section, the rudder, elevators, all that stuff, had kind of a clamp-on thing for the wheels. And then my dad and I got it out there, and we had the servos in it. We had them trimmed out just right for the rudder and elevator, ready to go. And my dad said, well, tell you what, let's fly it without gluing down. Let's not attach the servos too seriously yet. We'll see how the thing flies, and then we may need to make adjustments. So we just had them pinned down in. We had them kind of stuck and pinned with, they were almost like needles, just like pins, pushed down into the balsa. We thought that was good enough. Took off, and then the whole thing came loose, and the thing just started going crazy and crashed. And then my dad called it shelf time. He said, "Yeah, now it's going to have to do some shelf time," which means 6 months later before we touched it again.
Right. Yeah, no, all of that stuff has to be completely secure.
Yeah, we learned.
Yeah.
The push rods just basically knocked it out of the pulled those pins right out. And when we found it, which we did, and it was still fixable, it was the servos were just kind of sticking up in the middle of the fuselage. They weren't attached to anything.
Yeah. Well, my first RC plane had like about a 2-foot wingspan and only 2-channel rudder and elevator. And the wing had quite a dihedral, so it had quite a bow. The engine was an 049 self-contained. The back side of the motor had the gas tank on it, so it ran full throttle till it ran out of gas, and the airplane became a glider.
Oh, and then you had to hope you were pointing the right direction to land, right?
No, you just fly until you land on the runway. I mean,
all right.
Dead stick flight, just like any airplane. You look for a spot to land and you fly to that spot. Set your glide slope and anyway, yeah, there's a lot. Well, we won't need to get in a. Chris Hope, holy schmoly,
Hope.
buckaroo, thank you very, very much. Damn, let me see, is this going to work? Hey, the cannons still work. Thank you very much, Chris. All super chats tonight go to my brother, by the way. So
you were talking about your first RC plane.
Yeah, the wing was covered with silk and painted with what we called dope back then, a resin type stuff. Yeah. Silk and dope was the way you covered wings. In fact, they can still do it that way today, probably, but most of them use a stick-on film that you iron on and heat and shrink and all that.
And that dope would act like dope if you smelled too much of it.
Yeah, it would give you a headache. Yep, just like regular dope.
Yep. Yeah, it would make you feel pretty loopy.
Yep. So that was the airplane that I was referring to that I actually landed flying backwards. It was physically moving backwards, but it was flying into the wind as a glider. So, man, that's amazing, Chris. Thank you. Not that my train of thought isn't easily destroyed tonight, but that just blew it right off the track on the side of the mountain.
Yeah. Chris Hope's the man. He is the man.
Absolutely.
And so if you still were going to build a plane today, Mel, what would be your ideal build for a plane kit? Would it be balsa wood? Would it be a combination of foam and balsa? Would it be I don't know what else there is, 3D printed stuff?
Probably maybe some 3D printed stuff for detail. And because I have the laser cutter, I would absolutely use balsa and plywood to build the airplane with, because I could convert the plans over to SVG files and cut them out on the laser, cut all the parts on the laser. So everything would be laser cut. It'd be absolute precise, you know? Yeah. You know, so, and I'm sorry I'm not paying a lot of attention to chat, guys, like usual. I'm trying to catch things when I can, but I'm going to miss a lot, I promise. Yeah, it would probably be a, if I was actually going to build one today, right now, it would be a symmetrical wing. In other words, the airfoil would be equal top and bottom, and it would be 30 to 36-inch wingspan and a very short fuselage with a wide, not beam, but
yeah, I guess that's a ship.
A wide wing and a wide elevator, fairly wide elevator to make it stable, and it would be a control line plane that you fly in a circle.
Oh, yes.
I kind of miss my control line planes.
Yeah. My dad had those too. As a matter of fact, Mel, you know, I was telling you about kind of cleaning up his stuff, and two of the things that I have, or they're still at my mom's house, but they're going to come to me eventually, are two RC plane kits that he never built. Like old, I'm talking about
that were never built.
60s or 70s. Yeah, I think they were.
Wow,
I think they were kits
how
that
cool
he got,
would that be?
and then he got married, joined the Air Force, moved away. They stayed at his parents' house, and then when his parents passed away, he just took them, but they're still sitting in the boxes. And he's like, "Yeah, I just never got to building these." So
how amazing would that be?
my mom was wondering what to do with those, and I think I might hold on to those, and then if somebody, whether you or Doc or somebody who has the skill to build them wants to, I'll certainly give them to you guys.
See, I'd build them and convert them from gas engine to electric.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that way they'd be
Man, that
electric
makes life
powered.
so much easier. I remember having that glow plug and having to do the spin with your finger. I mean, it was.
Yep.
You know the song, Chris, right? It's something like.
I was just going to ask Chris if he remembers the English language, or tell him to not talk so much or something.
I usually just sit and listen.
He's a yacker, that Chris.
Yeah, boy, I tell you. Hello, Jackrabbit and JS. Welcome. Yeah, that would be an absolute blast to build one again from
All right.
scratch.
I'll get a hold of those, and I'll send you some pictures, and you tell me if they're worth
I can already tell you they're worth it.
Okay.
Just because of where they come from.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
know,
I mean, they're vintage. My dad
Absolutely
built a
worth
lot
it.
of model planes in his day, and not models and RC flying planes, but we never had a whole lot of luck. I mean, we flew that SIG Scamp a few times. We built a Corsair and flew that Corsair a few times, and but I'll tell you, man, that's part of why I love drones so much is they make flying something so easy. They kind of take away that, which it's good and bad, right?
Well,
I mean, I think
drones are great. They give you a totally different experience, but like a lot of the FPV guys say, and probably you'd agree, flying FPV, you don't have to fly a drone.
No,
You fly it. You get into an FPV quad or an airplane, and you must fly.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it doesn't survive.
That's right. That's right. And the nice thing on some of these airplanes is they do have a stabilized mode, right, where they'll kind of keep it stable for you, and you can learn to fly. I mean, one of the biggest things that I think
The new
pilots,
ones, if you have that turned on, yeah.
even that Mustang you have back there, that's got a stabilized mode,
Yep,
right?
sure does.
Yeah, for
You guys
everyone
still
who
need to
doesn't
battle it
know,
out.
well,
What's that,
me
Chris?
You and Kelly need to have a second.
I
attempt at
absolutely
your
agree.
duel.
We need to have another dogfight.
You think you might
Yes.
make it to Minefield this year, Mel?
When is it? August?
August 23rd, 24th,
Something like that?
Whatever
That-
the Saturday closest to. I think
Ken's
Ken Heron
birthday?
just did
Yeah.
that so everyone would know his birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole reason behind that. We all know that, right? Because the first one was like the day before his birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I made it the first one. I didn't make it last year. I might make it.
I didn't make it last year either. I was driving to Arizona with my daughter, but I might make it this year.
And at the first one, I had my popsicle FPV airplane.
You did, and you remember there were those guys, those
Ken
old
Dono
guys.
got to watch it. He got to watch it.
And there were also some old guys in the parking lot who had never seen FPV before. And what's the girl's name who used to be on Ken Heron's show
Ashley?
a lot?
Ashley.
Ashley. She was passing the goggles around, and those guys were flipping out, man. They were like,
Oh,
because you remember?
See, I was flying, so I didn't get to see what everybody was doing.
No,
And-
Ashley was passing the goggles around to those guys that were. It was really cool because.
And
there
I
were some
still
local-
regret not hitting record on the DVR and the goggles.
Yeah. No, I remember you had that thing in the air because we went around to the side. The nice thing about Minefield is you've got the whole structure to fly through, but then there's also a big open field right next to it.
Yep.
And there is a cemetery right next to that. Me and Dono were racing through the cemetery a bit. Apologies to the dead. And then there's that hamburger place that had, I swear to God, one of the best hamburgers I have ever had.
Beyond a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Beyond a doubt.
So,
Crazy good food there.
yeah.
And they open up just for, because I don't think they're open that early in the day or that late in the day or whatever on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, we gave them plenty of business. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the turnout this last year was even bigger than the first year. In the first year, there was probably 40 people there.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was more. I think it was 50 or 60. Yeah.
Could have been. I have no idea. I know that I got off work after driving truck all day that Friday evening and came over here to Tammy's house, loaded up my car, and hit the road. I was on the road by 9 or something that night, and I pulled into Huntington, Tennessee at like 4 in the morning, got my hotel, got an hour and a half worth of sleep, and then back over to Minefield all day long. That was a brutal weekend. I went back to the motel, went to sleep for a couple hours, and then drove back over here on Sunday. Didn't get back here in time, I don't think, to do my show that Sunday. I don't remember.
What's the drive from Fort Smith to
430 miles.
It's Brownsville, Tennessee, right?
Yeah. 430 miles to my house, so about 380 to Brownsville.
Okay, so 5 hours, 4 hours?
Oh, it was like 6.5, 7 hours.
Because I drove it. So I drove the day before on Friday. I drove to Memphis, and I stayed in Memphis that night. And I did my live stream. Actually, that was the first time I had Kai on as a guest. I did my live stream with Kai, and then got up early the next morning. Drove to Brownsville. Got there. It was real foggy that morning. Do you remember?
Yes,
really
it was
foggy.
a little foggy that morning.
Then it kind of burned off. Got there at 9 o'clock or so, and then stayed until about 3, and then I drove all the way home. And it's 13 hours, so I got home at like 4 in the morning or something crazy like that. So that was a long day, but it was fun.
I've got just
power naps. Thanks, Joe.
In the 30 minutes that we've been talking about it, I've got to share something. I want to say thank you to everyone in chat tonight so far. That's gone up $400 since I started talking
AGL.
about it. Imagine that, 400, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, $390. It was at $320. Now it's at $710. Thank you very much, guys. That's absolutely amazing, and your generosity is overwhelming.
Heck yeah, man.
That's going to be a huge help to them.
Well, and as I was saying, if someone
and I know it's a turtle. It's not a rabbit. It's a turtle. It's going to take a while.
My suggestion for all of us is, any drone shows you're watching this week, instead of super chatting, send it to that, because I think these guys could really use it. I mean, I couldn't imagine losing all my clothes, losing all my drones, losing. I mean, I got a whole arsenal of lassos, man. Yeah. Just
really sucks, but that's sometimes the cards life deals you, and you just got to deal with it. But
hey, and they're not out on the street. Mel told me his house is there, and they're staying in his house right now, and so it's not ideal, but it's also could be a lot worse.
Yep.
And the dog's okay. I heard.
Yep, the dog is okay too. So yeah, there was absolutely nobody home, not them or the dog when the fire happened. So everyone's safe and everyone's well, as can be. I can't even imagine what that devastation must be like mentally. That to me, I just can't even imagine that.
Oh no, I can't either. Man, I got porch pirated like a week ago, and I was pretty upset about that. That's nothing, right? That is totally blip on the radar. But it's still, you just feel like, oh my God, why did this happen?
I remember the first time that my wife's and my house got TP'd on Halloween. I was so freaking offended and pissed off. Oh my God, you know. And then after I got over that, it really made me feel bad. It saddened me greatly. You know, it was like, damn.
So Mel, first of all, I'm sorry. I didn't think you would get that upset. You know, it was a big yard with a lot of space, and so I thought I'd just, you know. Did you ever TP anybody's house?
Never.
Never?
Now, there was one thing we did do when I was in high school. A bunch of my buddies were on the football team. I wasn't on the football team, but a bunch of my friends were. And the school principal had a very large front porch. Very large front porch. And pretty much the whole football team, we gathered up one Saturday morning about 3 o'clock Sunday morning and hiked over to his house and took his Volkswagen Bug from the driveway and put it on the front porch.
And the front porch survived? It didn't collapse?
Oh no, it's concrete. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything's all.
Well, you know that old adage, if your front porch collapses and it kills more than 3 dogs, you know you're a redneck.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Chrissy's smirking over there. Yeah. You know, I can just imagine. Because I know how Chris's mind works, and I can just imagine some of the sound bites he's getting from tonight's show.
Yeah. He's going to resample a few things.
I have no doubt. Yeah. And then he also has access to this really elaborate studio, too, that if he wants to, I'm sure he could probably really go crazy with over and above what he's got for himself. But anyway.
Well, and speaking of, I will do a shameless plug for First Friday, which will be this coming Friday. You know who my guest is going to be, Mel? I don't think you do. It's going to be the CEO of Master Air Screw.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Windsor Propeller, Master Air Screw.
Mm-hmm.
They just came out with the Phantom or the Mavic 3 props. And they're really interesting. I'm not sorry, the Mavic 3 and the DJI FPV props. I don't have the Mavic 3 ones, but I have the DJI FPV ones, and they're really interesting. They're more boxy, and they're more pitched. And they're bigger. They're a little bit bigger, more boxy, and more pitched. And we flew them yesterday, and Chris didn't get to fly. Kai and I both flew them a little bit, but again, it was so windy we had to stop. But you could feel the difference as far as the speed, the acceleration with that extra pitch. What Chris, do you remember the numbers on that? Like 5.4 or 5.3?
I think it was 3. I think the pitch was 3.4 or something like that versus 2.8. Pretty sure that's
okay. So
yeah, that's a pretty good pitch difference in bite of air. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they really took. You know, they look cool and they flew great, but again, we had gusts of like 25 miles an hour, so it just wasn't working for flying anything really.
And you know, that's funny. You know, I put that Mavic Air that you gave me in a really good. Oh yeah, I've still got it. Nice. I kept my word so far. I put Master Air Screw props on that, and I keep it orange.
Oh, I love the orange.
And I put it in, of course, that's in a Nanook case. It's in a really, really good case, right?
Yeah.
I pulled it out here, a couple months ago to fly it, and those props were warped.
Really? From heat, you think? Or
no, what? Just from being in the case and with the drone setting on them.
So they were getting bent a little bit, and then over time they just bent.
Yeah,
it maintained that shape.
Yep, and I didn't notice it when I, opened the drone up, but when I set it on the ground outside and hit the sticks, it was like, and I'm like, what the heck? So then I shut the motors down and investigated, and sure enough, the 2 rear props, I think it was, were tweaked just enough that they were hitting the top of the body as they rotated.
Wow.
So I took them off.
Doc says he would fly in 25-mile-an-hour winds, and Joe Blaylock says his Mini 2 has no problem. So I'll agree with you guys with one small caveat. Is first of all, that Swan VTOL that I was planning to fly yesterday would have never made it in that wind. It does not have,
especially if it's a foamy.
Yeah, it's a foamy, and it wouldn't have done well. But then even the DJI FPV, which is pretty heavy, I mean, it's it's got some mass to it. It was flying fine, but it was shaking a lot more than normal, and we weren't sure if it was the props. And so we put the original props back on, and it was the same. So we couldn't get. It wasn't a great place to test aftermarket props, right? I mean, I guess it kind of is, right? How do they do? Well, they did about the same as the normal ones did. In that much wind. But yeah, we kind of called it a day and went and had Mexican food.
That's always more fun than flying. I don't care what you're doing. So
yeah.
We're just about at the hour. So I'm going to take the last 5 minutes to brag about something.
That t-shirt. Yeah, see it, Mel?
Nice.
It's going in and out of focus right now. Did you see it, Chris? The camera?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I think it was also
interesting.
adjusting the exposure too.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
But that's a Logitech webcam. It's not supposed to go in and out of focus. Anyway.
No, I think you've got. I think it's all focused on you, and because the background looks a little blurry to me. Like I think there's an aperture and there's a little bit of depth of field to it. So
well, then I wish it had a little more, so it'd be a little more pronounced.
Yeah. It's kind of like the worst of both worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the shirts look great, man. The shirts do look really good.
I guess I could do my DSLR. I've got the Delgado link and all that. I could use my DSLR, but that's
it's just such a pain.
Too much to set up and tear down every time.
Yeah.
A lot of guys run their battery. I've got the auxiliary power, so I can put that Baltzy in the camera and plug it into 110 and go for as long as I want.
Nice.
Well, maybe it is autofocus then. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I remember doing things and having to refocus the camera. So just really quickly, I'm going to go back to here and go to here and go to here and click this so that your guys' mics will be back hot again. And I'm going to pop that out of there so that I can move it over and show you guys these other shirts, the other colors. So that's what I have. So if you go over to the website, you'll see I've got one large and one extra large left in the black, and I'm going to update this information as they sell. So,
so are these you ordered these and you're shipping them out? These are
I had them screen printed. I have them sitting in a box right over here next to my desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
you get
quantity's
so much
limited.
Better, you get so much better of
limited.
a price doing it that way, because I've done it both ways. And when I print the shirts myself and then send them out, the shirts are, I don't know, $6-8 each. And if I do it through Teespring or whatever, they're $20 each or $25 each. So
well, you know what? For what these things cost me to get printed, my sale price is $27.50, but that includes shipping.
Yeah.
So
well, and your time to box them up and all that stuff too.
So everybody that pre-ordered shirts, just so you guys know, everybody that pre-ordered shirts, they have been shipped. Your
Thank you.
arrival estimation is Tuesday. It's already shipped out, Chris. It's on the way.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was just saying they're already shipped.
That's a great thought, though, Chris.
It is indeed. So that's the hour, guys. It went by pretty quick. It's about to wrap it up. Chris, anything you want to plug or stick in at the end here?
I just want to say, go watch the latest tweet I put out of Kelly's video where he crashed the Mini 2. It's hilarious, and Kelly, you're always fun to fly with and share clips from your videos. So
now, is this a video? Is this a live video on your channel, Chris, or what? Where is it?
No, actually, it's a link. It's a clip of Kelly's video that I actually emailed you earlier today.
You emailed it to me?
Yes, I did. It's like a 30-second clip.
I got no email from you, sir. Where did you email it?
400
Sexy
AGL
Grandpa
uploads.
123 at Gmail.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's do this. And
You don't check that Sexy Grandpa account very often, do you?
okay,
Do you?
no, I don't. Yeah, I gave up on that months and months ago. Copy. Let's see if we can make this happen here really quick. Let's do
And the music in the background is Epidemic.
Okay, perfect. Control V, enter, and I'm gonna scroll down here and look at that, and there it is. And I got to pause it. Well, I can restart it, but I got to adjust the scale. It's going to be main, and it's going to be bigger, and it's got to move over. Come on. And it's got to move down. Okay. Oh, man, I don't know if the audio is going to play. I hope it does. I'm going to try to make the audio play. So, all right. If I put it over there.
Hit the light.
Yeah, okay. So back it up. All right. Let me know if this works, guys, okay?
Yeah, we hear audio. Yeah.
As far as flight experience, I mean, I'm indoors and I'm about to hit Chris, so.
Yeah, don't try to fly
hit the
FPV
light,
with a
huh?
mini indoors.
That went up into it? Ah, dang. All right, well, first of all, probably flying indoors with these goggles on is not a great move. What happened is I went up and hit the light. I went up into the light. There's no sensors on this thing. I forget it's a Mini 2 with no obstacle avoidance. As far as flight experience, I mean, I'm indoors
So
and I'm about to hit Chris.
that's the clip.
So.
Okay, you guys just have way too much fun together.
We do have a good time. We do have a good time.
Yeah,
and Chris is super patient with me because I'm constantly breaking stuff.
Hit the light, huh? That went up into it? Ah, dang. All right. Well, first of all, probably flying
But the
indoors
Mini
with these
2
goggles on.
is a little beast because it doesn't have a lot of mass, and so when it falls from the sky, it's like a feather.
Yeah, so I imagine it doesn't hit the ground too hard, so probably doesn't have much of a chance of breaking a lot of stuff.
No. I mean, Chris, I think one finger. You've only lost a little, the tip of one finger.
Yeah.
So he's good.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I thought you were going to
surprised that it had.
show us which finger it was. let me show you.
Yeah, I was surprised that nothing was damaged. Like it fell like through a tripod and everything, the gimbal, and nothing was damaged. It was amazing.
Oh, that's
Yeah, the
always
props
a
were
plus.
fine. Basically, so if you watch the video that we did about the drone mask, that's where it happened. We were trying the drone mask. Just real quick on the drone mask, Chris and I were both very pleasantly surprised by how good the lens is in it for your phone. I mean, your phone's sitting right here in front of your face. The lens is really high quality. They're $150, $160, so they're not cheap. But what you're paying for is that lens and then the whole case setup. It's very comfortable. It's covered in kind of a cloth material. I'm giving 2 of them away on Friday. So if you can turn into First Friday, tune into First Friday. I got 2 of them from the company that makes them, and I'll be sending them out to 2 winners. And so here's where they're really cool, Mel, is not necessarily for flying FPV, although on a bright sunny day, whether you're flying an Autel, a DJI, anything that uses your phone, it works pretty well. Turn off notifications. That way you don't get all the pop-ups and everything, right? But where it's really cool is for a ride-along for FPV, because now the DJI FPV drone allows you to take a feed out of the controller via lightning cable, USB-C to lightning, and you can let people have a ride along, and you don't have to buy a second pair of actual DJI goggles. And I don't know if you've ever done a digital ride along. The DJI, the way it works is it prioritizes the pilot's goggles and not the viewer's goggles, and so you get a lot of pixelation in the viewer's goggles. With this connected to your phone in the goggles, it's a hardwire, so there's no pixelation, there's nothing.
Right.
There is about a quarter-second latency. And so Kai and I were doing this yesterday, and basically he was flying for a while, I was flying for a while, and then we were each taking turns watching. And it was about a quarter second later that you would see what the other person saw. So, for a ride along, that's fine though. Anyway,
yeah.
They're definitely a nice to have. They're a luxury item. They're priced as such, but I'm giving 2 of them away. So if anybody wants to win
That's
one,
cool that you get sponsorships like that.
Well, I'll tell you real quick. What happened is I thought this was kind of a funny story. I'm generally a pretty nice guy when it comes to negotiations, but in this case I wasn't. They sent me a note and they said, "Hey, we'd like to pay you to do a review of these." And I said, "Okay, that sounds great," because I don't usually get offers to get paid. It's usually just the item.
Sure.
I said, "All right, I want $200 and I want 2 of them." And so they wrote back and said, "Well, we only pay in occasions where it's a perfect fit for our audience and all that." And I wrote back and said, "Who's a more perfect fit than me?" I mean, not bragging, but honestly, it's
right.
Like, you don't get a better audience for this type of thing than mine. So I said, "That's the deal. Take it or leave it." And he wrote back and said, "I didn't mean to offend you. Absolutely." And they PayPal'd me $200 and sent me 2 of them, and I'm going to give them away. So, and I did put in the video, if you watch it, it says, sponsored or paid promotion.
Paid promotion. Yep.
But in all honesty, they exceeded my expectations. I was kind of thinking they would be gimmicky, and they are a little gimmicky, but the quality of them and the way everything looks when you have that phone in there, it's like the original DJI goggles, the white ones.
Okay. Because those were pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most phones today have a great picture, right? Whether you have an Android or an iPhone, it's a pretty good picture. And so it's the lens, though. I was worried that it would look blurry or too big or something. Chris, you wore them. What was your impression of how they looked with someone with a young guy with better eyes than Mel or I have, probably?
I have exactly the same opinion as you. Like sometimes goggles, like especially I'm used to like those the Emax goggles, the detachable lens, the Tiny Hawk 3 goggles. Like comparing with that lens, like this is a whole lot better. It just makes the phone. You don't notice it basically. It's just you and the phone, which looks like a big giant TV screen in front of you. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, you had to rub it in, didn't you?
They also fit over your glasses. So Mel, I wear glasses too, not all the time, but I demonstrate that in the video. So anyway, I'm just plugging First Friday. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely, because it's coming up here in a few days.
Master Air Screw also will have some coupon codes, and so we'll give away some pairs of Master Air Screw, basically with a free coupon code. So you pick your drone that you want the props for, and then you just put in the code, and you'll get them for free.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
And Kelly, one last thing, Kelly. If Matt's in the chat, you'll give a Kelly bump for Matt. Yeah.
Northeast Drone Productions in Australia.
And Matt, I'm not famous enough for Matt to come to my streams. So, yeah.
Mel, you're a bigger channel than Matt, so your channel's actually bigger than Matt's.
Okay.
Tell
that to my 19 viewers right now.
Hey, you know what? It's not about the number; it's about the quality, and we got some quality dudes in the chat tonight.
That's true. That's extremely true. In fact, guys that I haven't seen in a while, like Doc Murdoch and stuff. That's great that you guys came in. So the shirts are available. Quantity is limited, okay? Go look on the site. If your size isn't there, pick the next best thing if you really want one. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what else to do.
Wear it tight.
Yeah. Or wear it loose, depending on what it is that you like. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this up?
No, just as I said before, if you have an itch to send a super chat, I'd encourage you to go to the GoFundMe and do that instead.
That's very nice, Kelly. I appreciate that reminder, and I'll put the link in the chat one more time. The link is in the description for this video. And whoops, that's right, I guess. So, and share it with your friends, please, everyone. Some of you guys that have a lot more subscribers than I do and viewers than I do, every little bit will help. I really, truly do appreciate it. I'm going to refresh that page for a second and just check the number. It has gone up again. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are amazing. Everyone's amazing. It's just unbelievable. I'm going to put it in the chat real quick just for a minute. $780 is what it says now. So it surpassed what it had when I started the live stream. So in an hour we made over $700. I'm sorry. In an hour we made 500 and some dollars.
Yeah, you were sitting at 250 or so.
230.
I think you started
320. It was at 320.
320.
So yeah, we've made $460. So
you've more than doubled.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely amazing. And I know that I'm not sure if my brother's still here because he was watching from his phone, which he never has to do. I did tell him, because I don't know what kind of phone he has, but my phone will. Oh, he is still here. Kent, did that plug in the USB cable to that big screen TV help? Did that work on your phone or not? I know on the 50-inch that I have here that I brought with me, and my phone, I can plug the USB cable into the TV, and it will send the signal to the TV. So I don't know if my brother's phone and the TV at my house does that, but because he said he was going to have to watch on his phone, I said, well, maybe you can use the USB cable and run it through the TV and watch it on the big screen. So I don't know. Just curious if that worked or not.
Mel, you look better on a small screen. I'm just saying.
I have no doubt. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for being in the chat tonight. Thank you for the donations and the super chats. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Get your shirts if you want them. Get a hat if you want them. It helps the channel. All the proceeds from this is going to go over there. Yeah, it just is what it is, and I'm going to try and help out all I can. Hello, Curtis. The big point is, you guys could have been anywhere. You chose to be here, and I really do appreciate all of that. Kelly, thank you. Next week we'll have the gal with the 3D printer
3D
stuff.
girl.
Yep.
Yeah. 3D
Yeah. Homemade jam 3D or home jam made 3D something. Well, yeah, whatever. We'll have her, and we'll be talking about 3D printing, finishing the things that you make with paint, and really doing. I'm serious. If you go, you looked at her channel, Kelly? You saw.
She was talking about like how to paint the eyes. And
she's painting figurines that are an inch and a half tall with a brush with 3 hairs on it.
Yeah. No, she's an artist for sure.
Yeah, crazy. So here, Curtis, I'm going to post this just so you can see that real quick. Is that? No, that's not right. That's a YouTube link. What the hell? Let's see. Let me try this. Copy link. Copied. All right. V. Enter. There. Curtis, my brother, Backwoods Droner, in the chat here. His house burnt down this last week. Burnt to the ground. Lost everything. So I'm trying to help raise a little money for him. Next week, Kelly, you think maybe?
Nope.
Can't do it next week?
I'm going to be out of town next week and the following week.
Okay.
I'm going to be it's part of why I couldn't go to the meetup in Florida.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, it'll be mid-April before I'm going to do my show on Friday, and then I'll be gone Saturday, Sunday, and then the following Saturday, Sunday too.
Okay.
So, sorry.
No problem. We'll get it worked out between now and then.
Yeah, you got 20 eligible bachelors in the chat right now.
That's exactly right. That sounded really bad, but I'm going to run with it.
This is Mel's dating show. You didn't know this, but
Kelly, Chris, thanks for coming in tonight, you guys, and appreciate that, Curtis. I really do. And it's time to wind it up and get out of here.